Eric for a second.
Oh, he's here. Anyways,
Oh,
sorry guys.
okay.
Sorry guys, we're back. Sorry, I don't know technical difficulties. It's a Saturday morning. It's just my luck. That's all. That's all I'm going to chalk it up to. But anyways, Al, sorry, we were saying how was your Friday?
Oh, Friday. I was 1-1 yesterday. Cashed on the Braves over the Brewers, lost on the Twins against the Royals. So, but Mitch was happy, so I'm happy for Mitch. Happy for the guys in Vegas. But yeah. So I don't know what else I said that didn't get on, but we can just go talk about the Braves Brewers game today. How's that?
All right, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean the matchup today. It's Bryce Elder versus Julio Teheran. It's a rematch of a game, the matchup that was played 6 days ago. I actually had the Braves in that ball game. They won 4-2. The over under in that earlier meeting last week was 10.5. Today's over under line is 10, so a half run less. Teheran gave up just 1 run over 6 innings in that game. Elder gave up just 2 runs over 6 innings. So when the two starters hit the showers, the score was 2-1 Milwaukee. Then Atlanta hit a 3-run home run in the 8th to finish the scoring, but it went well under the total of 10.5. I think this game's going to be another low-scoring game. We're going to take it under the 10. Milwaukee is 13-4 under versus winning teams this season. They're 30-17 under as an underdog. Atlanta, behind Bryce Elder, now 20-9 under the total. And Atlanta's also 99-61 under at home versus starting pitchers in the National League with whips of 1.05 or less. So I'll look for another low-scoring game here, Chris.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I was looking with you. I mean, we just saw this pitching matchup, Elder versus Teheran, just a few days ago, and it finished 4-2. And yeah, like I said, the for me, from what I've noticed from the Brewers this season, is that they're a team that doesn't win with flashy offense. They win with great defense, solid pitching. And the Braves, yeah, definitely have cooled off since being the team that was running roughshod through the major leagues from basically the beginning of June up until the All-Star break. So yeah, I'm with you. I love the under here, and I think I personally also lean towards the Brewers here for the value. And
I do too. Yeah, I do too.
I can't get their minus 210. I know this is the Braves, and they're still one of the best teams in baseball, but still minus 210 a little bit much for me. Maybe take the plus 1.5. Maybe you go straight for the money line. Who knows? But
yeah, I was looking at Milwaukee as well. That was one of the last games I cut from today's card. I've got 2 plays at Pickdawgz Premium today in baseball.
So you got just let everybody know what do you got going on. You just mentioned you have 2 plays.
Yeah, I also have the Christmas in July special, say $500. Last year at Pickdawgz, after the juice, I was up 41.86 net games in football and basketball. So if someone bets $1,000 a game, they would have made 41,860 in football and basketball throughout the year at Pickdawgz. It was the same kind of result in 2022 or 2021, 2 years ago. So it's very consistent. I've won 23 out of 31 football seasons. I've also won 23 out of 31 basketball seasons. I've cashed the last 11 NFL seasons in a row, and I've been ranked number 1 in NBA and college basketball each of the last 3 years over at Sports Watch Monitor, which is an independent sports monitor that ranks about 100 different handicappers. So it's a great bargain. Save $500. It comes out to be about 94 cents a play across all the sports when you look at how much volume I have in all the sports over a 52-week period. So it's great value. You save $500, only 2 days left to do it, and it comes out to be about 94 cents a play, Chris.
Yeah, we said all show we're going to sound like a broken record, but Christmas in July, definitely the way to go, especially with Big Al. He just stayed there. Just the tenure and all the success he's had over the years. It's mind-boggling. It's definitely something that a lot of us look up to, but definitely make sure that you check out the long-term passes. Not just today. You can use today and use that to profit, but make sure you take advantage of Christmas in July before it goes away, because we only got a couple more days before those prices go back up, and you lose your opportunity to get some serious value, especially by using that code PICK at checkout to get an extra 15% off your purchase. But Al, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for putting up with me through the technical difficulties.
Oh, this is easy.
Yeah, I was going to say, par for the course.
Right. No, it's no big deal. Love you, Chris. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Are you going to be hosting tomorrow?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe Jay is traveling tomorrow as well. So
okay, I'll talk to you on Sunday.
All right, sounds good. I'll appreciate it. Take care. Have a good one. I always love having Big Al on the show. He's one of my favorite people on Pickdawgz, and I genuinely mean that. That's not just a spiel for the live show. That's the honest truth. But anyways, we'll bring in Eric Pathi, talk about some action that we've had on the Dime Club. Eric, how's it going?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I am doing all right. How are you? How's your week going?
I'm good. I'm just sending this link that you went off the air, and I was sending friends the link, and then they're saying there's no link, and I'm going, why is it? But when you rebroadcasted, the link changed.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
so now I'm gonna resend the link so I can start talking, and they can all click the link.
Yeah.
And no, because they're all going, where are you? Where are you? And I didn't realize that. And let me send the last person the link. And we are good to go. So first of all, I want to thank everyone that donated to my bike race yesterday. And I'll get back to that weigh-in, which ties into what Mitch was saying and what Dave Racy was saying about the late games, right?
Yeah.
So here's what happens. This is the time of year where you're in Canada. I was on the bike yesterday for 7 hours and 17 minutes. Around hour 50, I did 108 miles.
Okay. Before you keep going, I just want to say, really freaky that you said 7/17. That's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. July 17th. So
I will literally in the chat, I will show you the timestamp. You go to my Instagram. Actually, it's are you on Instagram?
Yes, I am.
My personal Instagram, which I don't care, you all can go to it. It's Eric, ERIC, the letter P.
Yep.
For my last name.
Yep.
Wise Guy, WISEGUI. I just posted the timestamp. You'll see it. If you swipe, you'll see the time. 7 hours and 17 minutes. Eric P. Wise Guy, WISEGUI.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get right in there on your birthday. And so, but the thing was, I was dehydrated about mile 50, about mile 54. So back to Mitch real quick. So this is the time of year where it's hot, regardless whether you're on the East Coast, whether you're on the West Coast. Pre-pandemic, I spent 52 weeks a year, about 16 weeks a year, and every other 1 week a month, I was in Las Vegas working out of the Don Best offices as my Las Vegas office, right? So there's no humidity. It's very dry. These guys are cutting weight in Las Vegas and they're getting dehydrated on purpose. And the flip side is with the humidity, it tricks you because you're sweating. You don't realize how much you're sweating. So yesterday on that bike race, I was basically doing what those boxers did. I was cutting weight around mile 54. And this is what happens to these boxers as well as any athlete. Your whole body locks up and seizes. You can't even move. There's no way to get through it and you can't even fight through it. And then I ate about 9 bananas and then over a 2-hour period, and then my body, I got a second wind. So the minute these guys at that fight, they go weigh in, it is carb city. They literally walk off the scale. It's pasta. It's bananas. Forget protein. You don't need protein at that point. It's bread. It's pizza. It's an Italian. You're Italian. It's an Italian delight. Big ziti, bruschetta. I mean, the more carbs. So what happens is he's right. Today, I'm about 6 pounds more than I was yesterday.
Yeah. You're gonna look before the fight. Spence and Crawford both going to be a Buca de Beppo at different tables, and not sharing a plate of spaghetti, Lady in the Tramp.
Exactly. Now, what David Racy, I was listening, and he said, "Why are the games all late?" For that exact reason, it is hell outside.
Yeah, that's true.
These guys are scheduling these games to not be heat stroked in the daytime because it's absolutely miserable. Now, I've been to Toronto a gazillion times. but I can't remember. Do you guys get it was about 87% humidity in Maryland yesterday.
Yeah, but we have the dome too, so we can close the dome and keep everything climate controlled. And
Right,
you guys
right.
won't. Yeah, so that's so the 307 start doesn't really affect us. I don't know if Miami is domed as well. I think it is, so they may be able to do the same. But yeah, that makes sense now that you mention it. The weather. So if you keep them all evening games, it'll help keep these guys sane.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, the weather is definitely the issue this time of year, and obviously people don't think about it, obviously. But I just wanted to comment on that because somebody that was on the bike for your birthday yesterday.
I'm saying 7/17 was my birthday.
That's what I'm saying. I was literally on the bike I wanted to make sure that it was your birthday when I was done.
See, I knew you get me. That's
exactly. So I'm 50 and a half. The guy that rode with me, he's 43. He took him 6:51 at the end. I said, "Go, just go. I can't take it. Just go." And I just slugged along. But again, I do it every year. It's a good cause. I want to thank a lot of the people. Some people that watch my videos on Pickdawgz, they donated. All my regular clients donated. And you were talking about tenure with Big Al. First of all, not only do me and Big Al probably have the longest tenure of anyone on this site, we also have the wall game beside Mitch that is unparalleled to none. So I'm going to tell you, before next 7/17,
yes,
you got to bring up your wall game.
Oh, trust me, I've already got. I wish I could show you right now. I actually got a signed jersey framed here. The problem is that I don't really want to highlight this, but you'd really have to zoom in. There are holes in my wall because the frame fell. So. Didn't go. It kind of went over like a lead balloon when I tried it on the first attempt. But anyways, Eric, what do you got?
You were talking about Christmas in July and
yes.
all the cappers. So ask me what my Christmas in July promotion is.
What is your Christmas in July promotion, Eric?
I have none because I am the only person on the Pickdawgz community platform that does not sell premium plays. And the reason we tried it initially, as I said in the videos last week, we tried it initially. Unfortunately, it just doesn't fit into the protocol of being a Dime Club member because I'm dealing with late information from major betting syndicates all around the country. And today is a perfect example. With all these games late, I might not even release games to my clients till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then if you're on the Pickdawgz platform buying the premium plays from the cappers, you're all those plays will be in 30 minutes by 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So you can't buy anything. What you can do is you can reach out to me directly. You can send me a text message, 775-636-7676 if you're a Pickdawgz member. You can find out about my promotions where you purchase the football season and you get the remainder of baseball for free. But let's talk about, first of all, before we get into the complimentary selection, if you're a Dime Club member for the week, you're up 3.6 units, which means if you're a Dime player, you're up $3,600 for the week. Not counting any free advice I give out on the YouTube videos at Pickdawgz. So I had the Baltimore Orioles yesterday. If you go back and look, it was a walk-off win against Cole. That's not the reason why I played it. As I explain to everybody each week, Chris, I'm not a handicapper. I'm a syndicate provider. I'm a middleman between these major betting syndicates. And I've been doing this for 35 years. So, guys like Big Al, I remember him when I was 20 years old. I've been doing this as long as everybody, him and certain other groups of people. And bringing my product to the platform, basically white labeling it to the Pickdawgz community, it is a little different, Chris, because you just can't get the whole bet it and get it and bet it scenario where by 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, you're done. Talking about football, once football begins, it is an all-day process. We might have games for 12 noon at 11, and then we might come back at 2 o'clock for the 4 o'clocks, and then we might come back at the 5 o'clock for the 7 o'clocks. Then we might come back at 9 o'clock for the West Coast games at 10 o'clock. So this is really, you're working the entire day as opposed to just what I like to say, plug and play. And I understand from a lifestyle point of view, not everybody can do that. And even for you guys as the cappers, I'm sure, Chris, if you come back on the screen, you would not want to have to sit there and constantly update and re-enter plays in throughout the day. That would make your life miserable.
It's one of those things where I'm thankful that, Mitch has given us the opportunity to just be like Ron Popeil, set it and forget it and walk away and just and never we just
Well, and
once the
so
plays
yeah,
in.
I'm the opposite. I walk into my office on a typical Saturday in football at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I might not leave till 9 p.m.
Yeah, but that being said as well, obviously there's some of us that if you get caught on the wrong side of a pitch, like of a pitching change, then obviously that's where you if you're a handicapper like I am, that's where you'd want to have the ability to change and change course on maybe some of these games. But again, like you said,
so let me ask you from a handicapping point of view. So yesterday, again, and I'll come with today's. You're already aware of what it is as we put them in before we get on the air.
Yep.
But again, when I go back and I look at this, how much? And I asked you this a couple of weeks ago. At this point of the year, I don't see the value of anybody laying big wood. And we talked about the 50-cent scenario, which I tell people if you can't afford a handicapper, there's a lot of people, as you know, he gets 70 million views. He has 135,000 subscribers. People just keep growing and following on his channel. And obviously, a lot of people get free information. I had some people that actually donated to my bike race that can't afford to pay me, and I appreciate their donations for the free advice that we give out. But like I said, the rule of 50 cents in baseball. Pittsburgh plus 55 cents, Milwaukee plus 80 cents, Cincinnati plus 70 cents, Kansas City plus 65 cents, Texas plus 55 cents. So that's 5 plays. If you play all 5 blindly with no handicapping, you're probably going to make a profit. Going 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. I said that last Saturday, those same 5 went 4 and 1, and you risked 5 units and you made 5.5 units. But I just go back to sometimes from a handicapping point of view, and I don't know if you implement this, I look at more, even though I'm not a handicapper, of what not to bet as opposed what to bet. So I would never bet against Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Kansas City, or Texas, purely on price, not pitchers.
Well, sometimes I'm in that boat where I just see, I do factor pitchers into it, and if I see a pitcher that I just don't trust at a minus 180 price, because minus 160 or minus 170, I would say is sort of the threshold of where I draw the line for money lines for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would definitely say that once that price starts to get out of hand, I start to either look the other way or just decide that that's a game that I'm not going to play because I just don't want to be on the other side. So that's just my stance on it. But
so for my complimentary selection that I'll also post on the video after this video, look, the second team in baseball behind my Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore Orioles are plus $1,964 for the season if you bet on them every game. Cincinnati is plus $1,753 if you bet on them on every single game. And as I've been saying, Chris, for years, the Dodgers are one of the most overinflated, worst teams to bet on. They are 58-44, still highly favored to win the World Series, which amazes me. If you've wagered on them at home on every game, you're minus $197. If you've wagered them away on every game, you're minus $118. There is no reason to lay $200+ on the Dodgers. I don't care if God is pitching on the mound. So obviously the complimentary selection is Cincinnati plus the 70 cents, just as a value play. And, what do you have to say about that? I'm interested as a handicapper.
I was going to say, I'll give you my quick cap. That was actually the last play that I actually just crossed off before the premium threshold for me. I really like the Reds from the value perspective. The problem for me is Luke Weaver. He has been terrible for much of this season. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. An ERA up over 6 on the road. But here's the thing that stands out to me as my dog decides to go crazy. You have a pitcher in Luke Weaver that has an 8.79 ERA in his last 10 starts. Now, I know you're not, a handicapper, but
I get it. I know.
But you still watch baseball. If I told you that a pitcher had an 8.79 ERA, out of 10 games, how many games do you think his team is winning?
Tell me.
They're 9-1 in his 10 starts, despite having an 8.79 ERA over those 10 starts. So the offense is picking him up. As poorly as he pitches in some spots, like I said, the offense comes to play for him. And that's not against slouch teams either.
Let me answer this question I want to talk the handicapping route for you because I think a lot of newbies are not aware of this. and I'm sure I'll let you answer the question.
Yeah.
When does the starting pitcher get accredited? How long do they have to play for that starting pitcher to get accredited with the win or the loss on their actual record?
So the loss can occur at any time if their team is behind when they get pulled, if they're responsible for the runs that resulted in the game, basically in the loss. It gets a little more complicated.
I know it does.
You get deeper into games, like, you know, if a team.
Well, what I'm saying is on that 9-1, he could have left with the lead.
Well, here's the thing. There's only one game where he factored in the decision.
Got it. See, so that's huge. That's huge.
So, but I know you.
Well, what I'm saying is fundamentally, don't you believe there's a problem with how the pitchers' records are accredited? I've always taken issue with that you just gave me the answer that I was looking for, which is, isn't it kind of like false information?
I mean, in a
he's 9-1, but there's only one game he was credited with.
There's only one game that he was credited for, but to me, that also means that if the team is 9-1, they're still finding ways to win. It's not necessarily him that factors into it, but he's also a guy that can do a lot of damage. And sometimes, yeah, I know you and Mitch have talked about this before. That, you know, you're only going to bet on a starting pitcher if you're sure that this guy can give you 7 innings. But for me, the way I look at starting pitching is that I'm also betting against a guy that could put his team behind the 8 ball 3 innings in, like the Kansas City Royals. I know Kansas City is a value team, like you mentioned, but Kansas City is also one of the worst offenses in baseball. And if they have a pitcher that gives up 4 or 5 runs in 3 to 4 innings of work, it's very hard to come back from that, even if you're one of the best teams in baseball. So As much as I value the guys that pitch well, for me, it's also about valuing the opportunity to go against the guys that don't pitch well and are more of a liability than an asset to their team.
I hear you, but I do believe on the crediting of the pitching record, I think that they could make some changes.
Well, that's why, you know, if you check out the morning show, you know, sometimes you'll hear Mitch say starting pitching win-loss record is one of the more useless stats in baseball.
But a lot of novice bettors use that as a reason to make a wager.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I mean, but the counterpoint I'll say to that, and we'll get you talking about the Dime Club in a second, is look at the Cy Young winner last year, Sandy Alcantara, right? This guy had a terrible record, but the thing was because his team didn't give him any run support. But he pitched well enough to put his team in a spot to win more often than not whenever he took the mound. This is a guy that was able to throw complete game shutouts any given night that he took the mound, and that's why he won the award, not because of win-loss.
That's fair. You made it fair. Where do you think Ohtani's going to go before we talk about the Dime Club?
I think he's going to. Well, I think the Angels are going to hold firm. In the offseason, if he doesn't re-sign, I genuinely think he's going to San Francisco.
You don't think I'm going to get him?
Or
you
Seattle.
Don't think I'm getting him?
He said he wants to stay on the West Coast, and the thing is, I was hopeful that Toronto might go after him, but the thing is, Toronto didn't even make it out.
Well, if Toronto had a shot, we would have a shot. So
no, hey, 100%. But I'm saying Toronto didn't even make the first round of cuts when he was first coming over from Japan. Toronto didn't make the first round of cuts, so I kind of counted our chickens after that. So yeah, I kind of gave up all hope on that. But anyways, you mentioned it. You alluded to it earlier. The Dime Club's been having a tremendous amount of success. Why don't you fill everybody in a little bit about it, what the Dime Club is?
Basically, like I said, it's high-level sports betting. The Dime Club has been around for 35 years. I've been doing this, for literally 35 years. Mitch was looking around the country for professional betting syndicates that he knew he could vet with real results, like you guys have on the leaderboard in the Pickdawgz community. He reached out to me because, there's a lot of people, as you know, Chris, in this business that can throw up a website after 5 minutes and say anything and everything. And you got to do your due diligence, just like Mitch has to do with the thousands of emails he gets a day of people wanting to be professional cappers like you, Chris, on Pickdawgz. Like he said, they email him and email him and email him. They're all 10-0 and they have the best system in the world and they want to sell their plays online. So with that being said, a lot of high rollers and high net worth individuals were people that just wanted to play less volume, more quality, not quantity, reached out to him and said, do you have a higher end product? And he went and found my organization, and that organization is now white labeled to Pickdawgz. So I've been running on all cylinders for 35 years. Now it's available to you guys. You send a text to 775-636-7676. You'll get access. I recommend having a minimum of $5,000 to $10,000 bankroll to make it worthwhile, because you do, unlike other handicappers on any platform, our core basis of our system is that you don't pick and choose the plays. You and I know, Chris, people will go online and they'll buy your pick packs, and they might not agree with one of your selections, and they will omit them from their personal wagering. And of course, 9 out of 10 times, they'll play the loser. They won't play the winner. You'll be 3-1. The client will find a way to bet the one loser because he was using his opinion with the selections he bought from you. I stand very firm that you have to be a robot if you're going to be a Dime Club member, not care about whether you like the games, not disagree, not talk about handicapping and pitchers. It's the opposite of everything in Maine in the community. You're just a robot. You're just going to get the plays. And unlike getting them early, you're going to get it and bet it regardless of what time you get it, like a robot. And that means you're not going to agree with about 80% of the plays that we have, because you as a handicapper probably would not handicap these plays. It's more on against the contrarian, more against the public, more goes against what stats and trends would actually say. And therefore, you're usually what we call, i.e. my Instagram, Eric P. Wise Guy, you're on the wise guy side as opposed to the public side. So you have to have the constitution to handle the volatility, betting a very small amount of money on each game and betting every game. And again, I get a lot of texts. People are looking for the 10-star, the game of the day. It's not my world. I don't live in that world. I live in every game is the same. And you want to have enough of a bankroll that you can play. If I lose 10 games in a row in the Dime Club, doesn't matter. You should be able to bet the 11th for the same amount of money. That's very hard for 99% of all sports bettors. So this, again, is not for everybody. It's not available for purchase on the website. I do give out free selections on the YouTube channel each and every day. But again, they're not even Dimes Club selections. If you want to get a discount, by all means, send me a text, 775-636-7676. And instead of the Christmas in July promotion where you can go online, I'm offering a promotion where when you purchase the football season, you'll get the remainder of baseball for free.
Well, there you go. The Dime Club still taking part in Christmas in July.
And I don't want to meet you in Vegas, by the way. It's too hot, but we can definitely go to a Toronto Oriole game one day next season.
I'm all for it.
In Toronto.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We got I was gonna say we got cheap seats, but
Big Al said he wants to go to Vegas. I'm thinking, who wants to go to hell right now? Only Mitch wants to go to hell right now.
I'm probably playing in January where it's nice and cool.
There you go.
65, 70. That's right in my wheelhouse. Everybody looks at me like I got 3 heads when I'm walking outside with shorts on. But anyways, got Eric coming on. Appreciate it. Appreciate you talking about the Dime Club, and we will see you tomorrow, I believe.
I'll see you tomorrow. You got it, buddy.
All right. Sounds good. Take care.
You got it.
Eric Pathi. I love talking about the Dime Club. It's one of those new services that we have here at Pickdawgz that, if it's within your means, it's definitely something that you want to make sure that you check out, because the early results have been fantastic. It gives you a new sort of angle, a new way of looking at things. And like I said, if that's your kind of that's the kind of betting you're into, then definitely make sure that you check it out. But anyways, we'll get to my play. And before we do, I want to remind everybody, we're at 47 likes. We were doing a like goal before our stream abruptly stopped. So, I do realize we lost some viewership there, but hey, I'm still going to do the like goal. So if we can get 2 more likes, I will drop that home run prop parlay for you guys after I give out my pick, which is right now. And I'm going to stay local for me. I'm going to go with this matchup between the Angels and the Blue Jays. And, anybody who knows me knows I'm a shameless Alek Manoah backer. I'm a fan. I can show you. I've got his signed jersey here. I've got his baseball cards in the corner of my desk autographed. I love me some Alek Manoah, but at some point I realized I've got to face reality, and that right now Alek Manoah is just not pitching well at home. He's got a 9.0 ERA through 31 innings of work this season. He's allowed 31 runs, 30 walks, which is the issue, 25 strikeouts. So when you're giving up more walks than you are throwing strikeouts as a starting pitcher, that's not something you want. Now, granted, a lot of that came when Manoah was having his really, really bad stretch to start the year. But even then, his first start back from the minors, from that sort of reset assignment, if you will, we've heard of rehab assignments, but I'm going to call it a reset assignment, gave up 4 runs over 3 innings of work against San Diego Padres. It could have been a lot worse, but it also wasn't great. He did give up 5 walks, didn't record a strikeout in that start. Might have some issues here against an Angels team that was only held to 1 run yesterday, but For the better part of the last 2 weeks, they have been playing really well offensively, and I think they can wake up, get some runs here. But make no mistake, I think Toronto's going to get some runs off of Reed Detmers as well. Detmers, I think, one of the weaker links of the Angels rotation, has still allowed 13 runs in his last 3 starts over 14 third innings of work. And Toronto, actually the best team in baseball in terms of team OPS in the last couple of weeks, basically going back to the All-Star break against left-handed pitching, top 10 in isolated power as well. So I'm looking for there to be runs in this game. I think we're going to start the day with some fireworks offensively in Toronto, and I'm going to go with the over 9 runs between the Blue Jays and the Angels. For me, at Pickdawgz Premium today, got my $19 pickoff play. I'm also going to have a 5-pack on the board today. This might be one of my favorite cards of the entire year to this point. So it's something that you guys definitely want to make sure that you check out. And definitely the long-term pass is the way to go, whether it's just with me or someone else as part of the 2-for-1 capper deal. It's the last time you're going to hear it today. Christmas in July is here. You know, there's very little time for you guys to take advantage of it. I got my yearly pass up for $1,000. Going to cover you for all the sports. Sometimes I go a little bit heavy on all the sports, so you're going to get the most bang for your buck. The plays are going to be pennies per pick, if not even less. And it's just the best way to go, especially if you're going to use that promo code PICK at checkout, get an extra 15% off. It's definitely a great way to go. But let's take a look at the like goal, see if we hit it. We did hit our like goal. We hit 61 likes, so thank you guys so much for that. But just because we hit the like goal don't stop. Keep us smashing that like button because it really helps us out a ton, and it doesn't cost you a cent. But what we're going to do here is we're going to give out a 3-leg home run prop parlay. If you guys have been following me, you know I've been doing our home run prop video here at Pickdawgz, so definitely make sure that you go and check that out because there's a ton of home run prop action I like on the board. But this is a home run prop parlay that I really like, and I'll give you guys my reasoning behind it as well. So again, if you can drop a thumbs up in the chat if you guys are ready for this. But I'm still going to be giving it out to you regardless if you're ready or not. The first play we're going to look at is Pete Alonso to hit a home run. I'm going to just pull it up here, just make sure that I got the right odds for you guys. But again, do your line shopping. There are multiple books where you can play these at. But the first play here for me was like I said, Pete Alonso at. Sorry guys, my book decided to shut down on me at the last second. That's why you want to have multiple so that you're not just relying on one for all your action. But yeah, so first one's going to go with is Pete Alonso, and I got him in at plus 310. Again, you can probably find better lines on him across the board, but this is a matchup play for me. Alonso in his career against Patrick Corbin, hitting 350 with 5 home runs, 7 extra base hits. You know, Corbin allowed 6 homers in his last 6 starts. Alonso in the last week hitting 357 against lefties with 3 extra base hits and a home run. So Pete Alonso is going to be my first play. May have had some struggles, but I think this is a matchup play where he kind of gets an opportunity to right the ship. The second play I'm going to go with here in that Red Sox and Giants matchup, I'm going to go with Tristan Casas to hit a homer for the 3rd straight game. This guy's absolutely mashing. I don't care that it's a bullpen game for the San Francisco Giants. The Red Sox have the better bullpen right now, and Casas, if you're just taking away splits against lefties and righties, Casas in the last week hitting 550 with 4 home runs, 6 extra base hits. He homered yesterday and he homered the game before. I'm looking for him to go 3 straight here, so I'm going to go Tristan Casas. I'm seeing him around plus 725. I think that's fantastic value for him. He was around plus 600 yesterday. This is why you want to have multiple books. There was as much variance. I saw him at plus 925 at one book as well. So you're going to want to make sure that you have multiple books open to be able to do your line shopping. That's where the betting tools at Pickdawgz and Sports Chat Place will help you. And the last one we're going to go with is Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners in the matchup against the Diamondbacks. Right now, Julio Rodriguez just mashing as well. He's hitting 375 with 4 home runs, 7 extra base hits against right-handed pitching in the last week. Brandon Pfaadt starting for the Diamondbacks here, an ERA up over 10 at Chase Field. There's a reason this guy hasn't been able to hold on to a spot in the Diamondbacks rotation. So I think Julio Rodriguez makes him pay here. Like I said, he's just swinging a really hot stick right now over the last week. So take Julio Rodriguez to round out the 3-leg parlay. So that parlay gonna get you a nice chunk of change. I think it's around plus 15,000 on the 3 legs alone. But that's where I always tell people round robin, because these home run prop plays, they are the farthest thing from a sure thing. It's not as simple as taking one side or the other. A lot has to go right, but when these plays hit, they hit very well. Now, if you can afford it, if it's within your means, definitely look into doing a round robin. Yeah, it's going to drive up the cost of the bet. I'm going to give you the whole spiel from the home run prop video, but if you haven't been watching the home run prop video, this is my chance to give you guys some drop some knowledge. If you and this doesn't just go for home run props. You can bet on these with sides, totals, money lines, whatever games you want to bet on as well. It's going to drive up the cost of the bet. So instead of just betting that 3-leg parlay for $10, if you're a $10 bettor, you put $10 on each combination of two. Yes, it's going to take that bet cost from $10 to $40. But how many times have we all had that 3-leg parlay that fell short by 1 leg, right? So if you're going to do that, you at least, and you hit 2 out of 3, you still profit. You still make a lot more money than you would if you just put $10 on the 3-leg parlay and had it not come in. So definitely just food for thought there. But you can see Jake here. I'll see if I can just put this comment up quickly. Let's see. There we go. $1 pays $1.31 on DK. So that's just one you can check out. But there's multiple home run props on the board. So that's going to be the home run prop parlay. It's going to be Pete Alonso for the Mets, Tristan Casas of the Red Sox, and Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. But thank you guys so much for joining me again, for putting up with me through the technical difficulties. Do my best and do it for you guys. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, we'll see you right here tomorrow. Same time, same channel. And we'll see you guys. Let's crush the books on Saturday. Best of luck with all your bets. And we'll see you guys.